we are Team Cyborg, and we are here to show you a device that can convert any object into a musical instrument. The innovation in the musical instruments industry has not been in par with the innovation that's happening in other areas of technology. For example, $500 can get you to make a small nano satellite in a garage for just $500. That's amazing, and still the innovation in the musical instruments industry is nowhere near that innovation area. So what we are trying to do is to bridge that gap by reimagining the way the modern musical instrument is played. Introducing Cyborg. Cyborg has what we call tentacles, which can be connected to any object, like so. And essentially each of these instruments, each of these objects become a musical instrument. So we have an app that we made in-house with which you can control the allotments to each of these tentacles. You can allot a sound, any sound that you want. You can just download the sound from the internet, or you can record your own sound with the app, and you can burn it over Wi-Fi directly onto the object because it features an inbuilt Wi-Fi module. Now, where does this actually come into use for musicians? Now, we set up this demo just to show you how versatile this device can be. For an actual musician, imagine a drummer who, like any other person, has only 4 limbs. But imagine his ability to play some sounds that needs more than 4 limbs. So, so that the essentially the output would be something like that. Another application for this is for guitarists. Imagine him able to play some beats as he strums. So you just need to connect one of these sensors right onto the guitar, and as he strums he can give a beat, and that essentially becomes a beat machine too. Imagine the ability to practice an instrument on the go, on a bus or on a moving train, with whatever objects you can find around. Like right now we just picked up some objects which can maybe you'll find in a restaurant or somewhere, so that you can practice that there. It's a revolutionary concept, and the market potential for this is that the retail market for musical instruments industry is a $6.7 billion industry, and our target market is that about 60% of this, where the violin, drums, and guitars and other instruments are. We are not trying to replace any of these instruments, but we are trying to be an accessory for this, for that category of users. And we are targeting at the about 64% of the market segmentation for professionals and students. Now, how do we plan to get our product to the market? We actually know that the retail industry is something very difficult to get into for a startup. So we plan to approach this as an online sales strategy. So we have tailored all of our business plans also accordingly. So we are hoping to partner with some of the giants like Amazon and Sweetwater, Cell Sounds, and the Musician's Friend. These 3 are exclusive audio and musical instruments retailers in the US, and Musician's Friend is an international retailer exclusively dealing in online sales for the musical instruments. We choose online as our sales strategy because also not just because it's easy for us, but also because of the recent trend of decline in sales of revenue for musical instruments from the supply stores over the last few years. Now, our competition, we don't have a head-on collision with any of these, but Mojis is a smartphone supplement. It's a smartphone accessory, and Potato is a kit that are used for intended for start makers and hobbyists. So we plan to promote our product mainly through Kickstarter and some of these blogs. I also was a blogger once, so I know some of these blogs so that we can get some traction for the Kickstarters. And the pricing strategy, so we made this product for about the prototype for about $140, and we expect it to bring down to about $50 per unit, and we are going to mark it up to about $130 to cover up all of our running the cost of business things. And we expect to bring it to market by late 2018. So that we need an initial investment of about $100,000, which we expect to raise half from the crowdfunding campaign. And we choose crowdfunding is the way to go because it brings a lot of attraction for us, and also it is a great way to know that there is people who actually want this product, and also to for potential investors to have some confidence in our product.
Hands up.
Yeah, thank you
very much.
What do you think will happen to the form factor of that device as you get into production?
I'm sorry?
What do you think will happen to the form factor of that device?
Oh yeah. So our next iteration of the product is going to be something the size of, yeah, maybe of this form factor, and all the sensors are going to be wireless. We are already started working on that. Hopefully, if we get through by the next demo, we will be having that prototype at our hand. We're almost 95% done with that.
Is this just basic MIDI technology?
It's not MIDI at all. You don't see any laptop or anything physically connected to this because it's built in. All the sounds are audio samples that you can
Pre-recorded, that's in your app.
Yes. Yeah, you can even record your own sound and put that in, for example. So that's our DJ set for.
Activate. Go. Okay, let's go.
So any voice you can program.
Isn't there, well, I have really two questions, and I'll ask them real quick.
Sure thing.
First question is, how do you, not that I'm an expert in musical theory, but there's an octave, right?
Mhm.
And so you had various sounds and they were probably at different pitches. How does one create an instrument that has an octave that has every pitch, every note in an octave? Does that accommodate that? Then the second one, when I hear all this sampling,
Yep.
people have been doing sampling in the recording industry for a long, long time. If you can answer those two questions, who's going to use it?
Yeah. For the first question,
Yeah.
this is a demo which only has 5 tentacles to it. For the next iteration, like I said, when it's going to be wireless, it can accommodate n number of sensors. So each of those sensors, like you said, for example, let's take keyboard or piano for example,
Yeah.
and starting from C, key C,
Yeah.
1 tentacle can be C, and 8 other tentacles can be C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Allowed each to each note. It's actually limited only by the imagination of the musician. You can choose whatever sound goes to that. You can even, like I said, you can record your own voice and put that in there. So it's the number of notes or number of objects is not a limitation for the first question. And the pitch, obviously, you can use some synthesizers, or you can download that note from the internet, burn it onto the device over Wi-Fi, or you can even use a keyboard, directly record the sound off the keyboard, put it in the app that we just saw, and burn it over Wi-Fi. The second question, to who will actually use it? So like I said, this is not, even though it looks like something of a toy to convert anything into a musical instrument, it's not. Like I said, we can't demo that right here because we need a, yeah, that is not the actual problem. We need an actual musician right here. None of us are musicians. I'm a violinist, but violinist not exactly something that we can use with this. We need a guitarist, which we already have, but he couldn't make it today, and a percussionist. Percussion is the most something that will find the most usefulness.
So this is my question on target market. As
Yes.
a guy who's played guitar since he was about 7 years old and has a dedicated music room with about 8 guitars, 4 guitar amplifiers, has bought from 3 of the parties who were on your list. And by the way, I completely agree with your analysis that at the end of the day, that's where buying online is where you get musical instruments. People are convinced, you see it, you touch it. Look, I know what a Les Paul feels like. I can order it from Sweetwater, I can get it delivered at a better price. The service is impeccable. I can pick it out of the box and I can play it, and if I don't like it, I can ship it back at their cost. So completely agree. The question is, who out of that group, if you've got an old school guitarist like me, that plays out of tube amps and is used to playing everything from Spanish guitar, all the way through Pearl Jam and anything in between, including death metal, how am I going to relate to this? Who's going to be your target market here?
Yeah, so taking guitarist example, one of the demos that we like to show it here is that imagine you are playing some acoustic piece and you don't have a drummer around,
Right.
or you need some slight acoustic unplugged effects in your sound.
Yep.
So like maybe something like that, or yeah, this would be better. That you can just take anything like a stamp pad, or I don't know, maybe a mat or something, put it on the floor. As you strum, you just need to give it a hit, and
To augment.
Yeah.
It's augmented.
One of the
Different from like a Beat Buddy or one of the other devices that they have where you have a
Uh-huh.
little band in the box and it's
Yeah.
sitting on the floor?
Beatpad is more like a drum machine, right?
Yeah.
So this one is completely programmable by the player.
Okay.
You can put whatever sound you want with the app. One is that, and the next feature that you will really like this one. The next feature that we are trying to put in the next iteration is that when you are strumming a particular chord,
Mhm.
it would detect that chord and it would suggest some whatever counter chords that goes with them or some riffs that you may. So you can assign that using the application that you're going to build upon the whatever we just showed you now.
So somewhat similar to a trio device
Mm-hmm.
that you may be familiar with, that, you know, you should look into that device.
So it's independent of the product, it doesn't matter, you're not using the acoustics of the,
No.
so this is just a switch,
Exactly.
It's a trigger.
right,
Yeah.
a trigger.
It's cool.
Yeah, and some objects like this one may require some more, bit more. It depends on how good the vibration is damped by that object. So
And to be clear, the trigger itself doesn't trigger a standard sampling length. You could actually trigger it and you could play a whole song in back of you, correct?
exactly.
So it's not just an event trigger, it's a,
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea of this is that it should be the power of the controlling it shouldn't be to the developer of the device. It should be to the player, to the actual player. So that's why we made it as customizable as possible. So these are just the presets that we just loaded onto the device. Any sound can be loaded and anything can be controlled with that. The next iteration of the product.
now, on your pricing, clearly you're targeting this to musicians.
Yeah.
Is your pricing, in your mind, flexible enough to actually be a toy?
Yes, very much.
Because to be honest with you, I could see a whole bunch of people just buying this to
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
throw a ball across the
Yeah.
room. and
It
play
is.
something.
Actually, two of our other use cases that we wanted to pitch, I don't know how to pitch everything and it wouldn't be nice to pitch a lot of niches for one use case. So our actual product is not a musical instrument, what we want to develop in future. It's the technology, underlying technology of
Mhm.
sensing something
Platform, yeah.
and then putting it to action in any domain, like maybe IoT or maybe a lot of things can be done with this underlying technology for maybe blind friendly environment or a teaching aid for kids. Like if you have a kid who wants to learn Spanish, you can record your own sound, the parent's sound, put it in the device and when you touches it, it will say ketchup in
Yeah.
Spanish,
Yeah.
bell pepper in Spanish or whatever language you want. It's a great education toy too.
So is the reason why you're targeting musicians first because you're trying to, trying to establish the credibility of the technology?
One primary thing is that most of us are musicians and we are passionate about music. So we had this idea from a musical instrument. Like I made a small digital drum set back when I was doing my undergrad. So this is the stripped out version of that drum set.
Okay,
So that's where I got the idea from. So building onto that, yeah.
okay.
So this is my first time here, I don't know how this is gonna go. 20 years ago, I did something similar, very rudimentary technology. It was actually called the body drum, worked exactly the same way.
Oh, thanks.
There was an IP on it already, so I don't know if you've looked at that.
I haven't actually.
That said, I have been a co-founder of a music company and a toy company separately. And so I'm gonna give you my card before you leave here.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much.
One more minute.
You guys have more questions?
Just a comment is, as you developed your pitch,
Yeah.
for what you said, like you could pick up a bottle of ketchup and it would say ketchup, I understand this. I almost thought that using ketchup and a bell pepper and a frisbee detracted from the musical elements, and it might be better if you're selling it into that musical world to sell it, like you said, onto a guitar or with a foot pedal, or because I think it confused me at first. I thought you were using the acoustics of the instrument or the bottle to make different sounds,
Yeah.
but you're really, it's agnostic to what you hook it up to. It's just receiving a,
Yeah. That we
Yeah.
just wanted to show how versatile, like you said.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what object it is. If a bell pepper can do this, imagine what it can do
Yeah.
to a guitar. That's what we wanted to convey.
To the
Yeah.
point though, maybe you iPhone somebody playing a guitar using it in that way and you have examples that are application specific.
yeah.
because I agree with you.
Yeah.
I could see past that, but I understand why
Yeah.
you're looking at a
Uh,
pepper
we
and
had,
saying, what's that
uh,
have to do with the music?
We had a feedback exactly like this when we presented it last time too.
Time's up, please.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was a good presentation.
Yeah,
Thanks.
great
Thanks.
presentation.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.